Hello and welcome back to Dial H for Heroclix. I'm your sexy ranch hand co-host Kalder. This week we talk about Wizkids selling direct product to the House of X Solicit, the LE Hawkgirl, and kind of gab a little bit about Thursday Throwdown. Howdy, howdy, let's get rowdy. Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, including all the latest Heroclix singles and sealed products. Make sure you check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Joining me, as always, in studio is my nemesis, Simeon Bruce. What is going on, Simeon?
Same old, reading comics, playing with plastic stuff,
Very
cool kid things.
Very cool kid things. Yeah, because it's so cool to read comics. Nowadays, it kind of is. It didn't used to be. It's more mainstream. So yeah, I'll take that as cool kid things. For sure. Well, every week we like to start off with what made us happy. Simeon Bruce, what made you happy this week, my man?
This week, what made me happy was finally getting tan enough that I don't sunburn every day. So I'm just at that right point where like the sun hits me and I know it hits me and I feel warm, but I don't burn. I feel like Johnny Storm, Human Torch.
I think I had like a sunburn like so bad one time that I felt like Human Torch, but in like a different way. Where like my forearms, because I had like a t-shirt on, they just felt on fire all the time, and they had like bumps on them, and I was like, bro, I think I'm gonna die, or at least I had like either a sun rash or something, and I was like, my arms literally felt like they were on fire the whole time, and it was like the worst. So I'm glad that you're just like not looking as white as you normally do. Some people don't know
Yeah.
this between with how you speak and your name being Simeon, but Simeon is a very white person, very, very incredibly white. So, well, not right now. Now he's an incredibly tan person, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, unless I take my shirt off or pull my pants up, because,
Please don't. I don't even want to have that image in my head.
there's
I mean,
several parts of me that don't see the sun
what basically we're
while
saying
I'm
is
working
like
at work.
t-shirt level down, unless you wear a tank top while you work.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, but
This
like
is what is known as a farmer's tan.
I so hate that it's called a farmer's tan because I also have one all the time because I always work in a t-shirt. But I'm a rancher. Don't ever call me a farmer, baby. I'll punch you right in the mouth. Ain't no
I could just
farmer.
call it like a billboard
Should be a working
installer
man's
tan.
tan. I don't.
Be like, hey, Calder, that's a real nice billboard installer tan you got going on.
I think that's the first time we ever said your occupation like on the show, and it sounds just as weird. Weird as it. It's a nice
Ladder
billboard installer.
climbing, ratchet strap
Nice ladder
handling.
climbing tan. Like, oh well, thank you, you fellow ladder climber. Like what? Excuse me. Yeah, the corporate ladder. No, a quite literal physical billboard ladder. Um, Now you made me lose my train of thought. No, that's
What
great. It's
made
great
you
you're
happy
getting a
this
tan.
week, Calder?
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're doing. I'm not gonna lie. Not a good week in the Ranch El Ness. I don't know how to say it. Basically, every single day something happened that gave me like one of them nice migraine, either like a migraine or I got super mad at something. But I went this Thursday. I went for a hike, cleared my head, felt great. Felt great. Love it. Turns out that's the best part about
Nice.
owning land and being a rancher is that you can go on a hike, and I don't often remember that. When you work outside all day, the last thing you want to do when you get home is go outside. You want to sit at home and play video games. I don't know how other people feel. I know some people have like pet horses, and they're like, "Oh, I just have to go ride my horse after I'm done at the long day." But like, I spend my long day either like on a horse, on a four wheeler, fix a fence, doing whatever. The last thing I want to do is like go outside for a walk or a hike. But it was really nice and cool. So it was actually pretty fun. I don't know about maybe that's just me being whatever, but if you work all day outside, I hate going outside for fun in my free time. That makes me look like
Yeah.
not as tough and tumble as a rancher. I was like,
I
oh,
hate the aspect of
you don't go
mowing
outside?
after like a full day of work.
Oh, dude, screw mowing. I hate because here's the thing,
Like,
right?
do you want me to stand in the
It's
sun
so
longer?
it's so bad. Number one, I hate that we mow our lawn. We live in the middle of nowhere, 14 miles from town, 5-10 miles from our nearest neighbor. Why do I have to mow our lawn? This makes no sense. To look nice? For when who visits? For who? For us? I don't care how my lawn looks. It doesn't matter. Cows eat the grass. What do I need to mow? All right, I can't. I shouldn't rant
Do you
too
put up
long.
Christmas
We gotta
lights?
talk. No, we don't put up Christmas lights. No one comes to
Ah,
our house for Christmas. We don't have to. They
see,
used
we still
to.
put up Christmas lights.
Now we go to someone else's. So as a kid, it was a big thing. We never put up Christmas lights, and I was like, "Mommy, Daddy," but I was actually like 15 at the time. Like, "Yo, can we finally put up some Christmas lights, Mom, Pa?" That's not how I talked when I was 15. By the way, and I put up Christmas lights around like one of our windows, and I was like, "How nice is that? Christmas spirit." Then I never did it again because I'm like, even though it's like literally such little work for us to put up Christmas lights, there's no reason to. We decorate the inside of the house. It feels Christmassy enough. We don't need Christmas lights on the outside. I love Christmas, my favorite holiday, but like we don't need Christmas lights on the outside. No one else sees them. Literally no one else sees them. I do not care. All right, that's enough ranting and raving for now. Let's go ahead and jump right into the news. The news. Let's go lamest news to coolest. Okay, let's go like least impactful news to most impactful news. That's the best way to say it, I think.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
So we're gonna start off with Hawkgirl. Am I wrong in saying that she's probably the least important piece of news we have this whole week? The one new dial we have? I think so.
Yeah.
I think
it's
so.
it's the thing that will affect everyone out there the least, for
the
sure.
Least, absolutely.
Because you won't be able to pick one up for a while.
Okay, we got number 100, Hawkgirl, Justice League Warrior keywords. This is brought to us by our good friends at the Heroclix Taiwan page. Excuse me. All right, I'm not going to get into it. Excuse me. She's 50 points. We got a DC character with a Marvel dial for the first time. Actually, this whole JLU set makes DC way 1,000 times more playable than like Rebirth. Like this entire set, you could probably choose any figure and it's better than any other figure in Rebirth. Maybe besides like Black Adam, whatever. But like seriously, on average, this JLU set is way on par with like the stats and stuff that Marvel regularly gets than what DC gets. And I really love that. Hopefully that trend continues. JLA team ability, Flight in Dom. Her stats are pretty good. She's got an 18 top dial for 2 clicks. She goes into 17, pops up again to an 18. She got 12 speed first 2 clicks, goes down to 11. Goes all the way down to 9 at the bottom of her dial. Starts off, though, with a 4 damage at the top dial. She goes down between a 3 and a 2 in that lower dial, but she has Close Combat Expert on her last 2 clicks. She can always do 3 damage or 4 damage with a light object. So she can basically, if she has light object, she can always do 4 damage at any point in her dial between Close Combat Expert, light objects, stuff like that. And obviously upwards of 5 damage on that last click with that sick 3 damage Close Combat Expert. What makes her good, besides her overall like better stats for most DC figures, she's got a trait, Founding Members. I don't know if the Justice League starter set has this trait, because I cannot emphasize this enough. I do not care about the Justice League starter set, but if they do have it, I'm going to read it again. Good old Shania Hall, or whatever she's called. I really don't know her name. Hawkgirl, Hawk Chick, has this trait. Speed +2, but only if your force has 4 or more characters with the Justice League keyword. She's only 50 points. If you're making a Justice League team, you should be able to do that. // second part of the trait. For all friendly characters that can use this trait, action total +1, but only if your force has 6 or more characters with the Justice League keyword. So she gives a nice +1 action total if you got 6 or more people. You can team that up with like Dr. Fate, have a dummy thick amount of actions. More actions is always better. Doing more stuff on your turn, especially if you have a lot of low point heavy hitters like this Hawkgirl. Like, I mean, she's an 11 for 4 Quake with a charge. Other friendly characters modify defense value -1. So she kind of hurts her team, to be honest with you, with this charge. I think that's what balances her out a lot. It's her charge ability. -1's defense isn't terrible, though, to be honest with you. She has 12 speed charge with +2 speed if she's on Justice League, so that's an 8 square reach with Quake and 4 damage. She can single target Quake someone for 4. 8 squares away, which is really solid with this Hawkgirl. You can TK her up, whatever. I think there's a lot of synergy that comes with this. This Hawkgirl is like a betrayal Hawkgirl or something. I don't know. All I know is that she straight up is calling out Simeon Bruce and also like half the Heroclix players with their Close Combat Expert. It's called Hate the Beard. Sorry, Simeon. Hawkgirl's not a fan. Does not care if you're quarantine beard. What a rough
Hey,
thing.
this thing was growing on me before quarantine.
It was. No, it was. So it's just gonna
It
get
just nestled up
so
and
much
stuck
bigger.
there.
I
It's true. I don't
can't
plan on
wait.
cutting. So
Oh
this will
geez.
make the seventh founding member, I guess,
Okay. So all the whatever
between the
ones have
starter
it, I
set
guess. Starter
and
set.
her. So that's cool. It doesn't look like it comes out to like a round number. Uh, if you play all the starter stuff on the lowest point value, you get an even 300. And if you play them on their highest point value, I think it's like looks like 600 or 700. So she doesn't really fit in like with solid point value unless you really finagle stuff. Um, but cool piece.
If there's anything we can do in HeroClix, it's finagle some things. Let's be real here. All right,
Oh, for sure.
Simeon. It won't be as accurate when they're picking up Mjolnir or whatever, but we can finagle things. Don't worry about it. Simeon, why don't you go ahead and hit us with that next piece of news?
All right. So it's been years since we've got an X-Men set, and at least I think it was last decade.
I hate you so
uh,
much. You can't make.
little
Please, can we stop making that? 5 months in, still making that last decade joke. You know what's fun fact is really no one had 2020 vision. Even me with 2020 vision couldn't have seen what happened this year coming. All right, keep going.
for
Last
sure.
decade. Last decade
So
joke. Goodness gracious.
we get a new X-Men set. So I'm just going to read off the whole solicit. Characters from the past, present, and future of mutant kind will appear in the Marvel HeroClix X-Men House of X set. This is based on the Jonathan Hickman House of X, Powers of X storyline and subsequent stuff. So Wizkids will release in October, pending everything. We'll put a light release in October for now. Boosters, Fast Forces, and Dyson Token Pack will be available. Inspired by the events in House of X and Powers of X, the X-Men House of X set features the Quiet Council. So the Quiet Council is let me think real quick. It's Exodus, Mystique, Mr. Sinister. There's 3 members from the Hellfire Club. There's Professor X, Apocalypse, and Magneto. Then there's Storm, Nightcrawler, and Jean Grey.
And they're all
Is
on
that
a
12?
team together? Nah, not
Yeah.
close enough.
No, this is the Quiet
Quiet.
Council. This is the council
Okay.
that. So the whole House of X thing is like mutants are. Remember when like they tried to make a nation on Genosha, and then like
Yes.
16
Yeah, yeah,
million
yeah.
were genocided? They're trying to do that again,
Oh.
without the genocide, hopefully this time. So the Quiet Council is like the leaders of this new nation. So yeah, you've got
Normally,
these
those people
old
do not get
villains.
along. So I'm a little curious
Yeah.
how that works.
So it's real cool. It's real cool because you've got and the island is the nation is on Krakoa, the living island. So that's
That
whatever. But
thing.
yeah, it's cool that there's like Apocalypse there. He's not doing a lot. Magneto is in like a white suit with a chrome helmet, so
Mm.
that's cool. Um, and then you've got Professor X with like a pink squirrel tail that you see in the sculpt.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Is that
so
is that a tail or is that an effect for
no,
brain
that is
power?
that is a special effect. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll
It does look
get
like a
into
tail.
like
I don't
what
want you
it
to like
is.
show people the wrong way because to me it is a tail, and you're talking like you almost know what X-Men are, so I don't want to.
No, so there is a very specific part of the comic that that effect is shown in like a comic panel, and it is like a pretty important kind of like thing. Um, it's like a passive power. It's not like an attacking power, so it'll be interesting what he does. I don't want to give any of it away because it's a Hickman comic,
What
and
if he
everyone
just
should
pen
read Hickman
blasts for
comics.
6? Like, what if it's just like,
I
yeah,
mean,
it should be
absolutely.
more of a passive. Okay.
Yeah. So features the Quiet Council, the 5 Excalibur, or the 5, comma, Excalibur, X-Force, Marauders, Horsemen of Apocalypse, Otherworld, and Starjammers. Some of the characters are new to HeroClix, while others appear in new forms, including Apocalypse, Moira, Glob Herman, Maggot, Rasputin, and Old Man Phoenix. Um, so Apocalypse, this is a very like timey-wimey kind of comic, which Hickman does a lot. There's like a lot of like time travel stuff
Old John
usually.
Hickey.
Uh, Moira is actually like a very important central point of this whole comic, which is strange. Spoiler: turns out she's a mutant. So we'll see.
I thought that was her
If
whole
you
thing, was that she just was like a cool, like I'm with you, bros, but like I'm not like a bro in that sense. I know she's a chick, but like I thought that was her
false,
whole thing,
yeah,
is that she wasn't a mutant.
absolutely
But now we're just
false.
gonna make her a mutant. Whatever. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thanks for
So
spoiling that for me, Simeon, because I
Apocalypse.
didn't know that either. He didn't ask me if I was caring about a
I mean,
spoiler alert.
the fact that she is a mutant does not change anything. Like it's like what her power is that is like the real kicker.
Gotcha, 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 gotcha,
Glob
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Herman is he's Glob Herman. Uh, so we've got Old Man Phoenix. That's a cool one. Apocalypse. We'll see what he does. Hopefully something cool. Um, then you can look at the gallery of some pictures. We've got the pictures of the 6 Fast Forces, and it says X-Men House of X will also bring team-up cards back into the game.
Oh! All right, cool.
They've been
Had to get
gone
that out.
so
Sorry.
long
They've
that
been
I'm
gone for
so
so
glad we're
long.
gonna
I've
get them
really been
back.
missing these team up cards that I still don't have in my hands. All right.
Yeah. Uh, so we'll see if it's like team up a la Regenesis, where it's
That's
like
a
a theme,
see. That's
or
what
if it's
gets me though,
specific,
right?
like
X-Men already have team up cards in Regenesis.
yeah.
Ah! All right. Sorry for your head.
It says the full set will include 18 common figures plus 1 prime, 16 uncommons plus 1 prime, 16 rares plus 1 prime, 16 super rares plus 1 prime, and 6 chase figures. They will be packaged in 5-figure boosters available in a booster brick with an MSRP of $129.90. Usually have discounts at stores and stuff. That's just the
Yeah.
suggested retail price. Players who want to quickly assemble a team of characters from the series can pick up the Marvel HeroClix X-Men House of X Fast Force set, which features a half-dozen X-Force characters: Wolverine, Domino, Beast, Marvel Girl, Forge, and Sage. MSRP on that is $16.99. So don't know the deal with Domino being like half burned,
Yeah, I don't get it.
but that's in there. Um, And then, of course, you can't ever get too many Marvel girls unless you bought literally any X-Men sets ever.
Now wait,
And
this
then
one
you'll
she's
always
wearing a
have Marvel.
skirt. She's got her battle skirt on, dude. Come on.
Oh yeah,
That's at
yeah. She
least
like
like
the
one we
throwback
haven't
costume.
seen since Uncanny X-Men. At least one with a skirt, I think.
Very true.
Yeah, it's at least
Uh,
been 5 years. For another figure that's gonna have sidestep TK, but okay, sure, sure.
and then also has a Dyson token pack with a set-specific logo, half a dozen action tokens with images of characters from the set on the front and bystanders on the back. So there will be like bystanders. I can think of like a half a dozen things that would make sense. Wouldn't
What are they?
wouldn't be
Give us your half
surprised if
dozen right now,
Professor
Simeon. Half
X.
dozen bystanders right now.
Maggot probably makes a maggot.
Okay,
Um,
one.
that's kind of like his big thing. Apocalypse could pop out some, Horsemen, and Sinister could do like some clone people
Okay, those are both
things.
kind of lazy, but
Uh,
I'll accept them.
yeah, there's a lot of options.
Once again, that
I don't
was
want to give
only
away like one that I
for
think Professor
those.
X might have one,
Okay, for those
but
counting at home, that was only three, which is half of a half dozen. I'm just saying. Just
I just
saying.
don't want to give
Or
away
four
like
for
more
non-spoilers.
of the story in case anyone really cares
How
about
old
reading it.
is this House of X story?
It's like 6 months now is
Oh,
about when it
really?
started.
Oh, it's like super new.
Yeah,
Okay, never mind. No, I was about to look like a
it's
total donkey on
too
camera,
new
but never mind.
for HeroClix to
It
have gotten
is.
it
Wow, that's new.
100% correct. So
Hmm.
I'm a little weary because usually when they try and do a set ahead of time, they're like,
Hmm.
"Hey, this lady looks like Colossus and has a sword. We'll give her like impervious and blades." And then like
Yeah.
in the comic, she like turns into puddles and I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
And they don't give her anything for that.
I'll quit interrupting your read through. This all said, excuse me.
Oh, that's it. It says in
Oh,
June
good.
will released box HeroClix starter set based on Avengers Masters of Evil. We already talked about that.
Yes.
And then in August, the Spider-Man theme, Absolute Carnage. We already talked about that. So that's it. Dice token starter set and bricks with
Now wait a
team up
second. It's a
cards.
special logo to match the set. Of course, we don't know what the set logo is, but that's you can't forget that, dude. And Dyson tokens are a great way to
Used
enhance
an
your
X a
HeroClix.
lot.
I love this, by the way. Dice and tokens are a great way to enhance your Heroclix experience. Not enhance. It's what I physically need to play your game. Sorry.
Dice for sure. Tokens can come in a variety of things, but
They can, but
yes,
you really can't be like, I have 6 pennies for my dice. I'm like, that won't work, Charles. All right, it's not gonna happen. You can use those for tokens, but you quite literally have to have 2d6 to play this game.
you're like your opponent puts down like some white dice and you put them down, and then like halfway through the game you're just like enhance, and you slap your dice off and put like the Phoenix like dice down, and they're like, oh no. You're like, that's right. When I roll a 6
Oh
on this,
my god.
one of my characters can be resurrected from the Shadow Realm, at least.
Okay. We're gonna go Shadow Realm. Is that what we're going to? We could at least say
Yeah,
Limbo, make
get
it
friendly.
semi X-Men related, but we're like, no, the Shadow
Shadow
Realm,
Realm.
and I'll attack their life points directly. I'm like, stop. Can you tell I just drank a bang or not? This podcast.
Yeah,
All right.
from the sound of it, a blue raspberry.
I believe that would be it. That would be correct.
There we go.
All
I'm
right.
on the ball.
Let's already pump or dump the set, Simeon. Hate it, love it. Just based on what it's gonna be. You don't know anything except for it's gonna have those sub themes. You don't know what any of the figures are gonna do. You've seen the sculpts already. Do you care about those sub themes enough? I know you're an X-Men fan.
All right, I will
So,
go. So, Quiet Council,
yep.
something I want. It's as cool as the Illuminati. It's interesting.
Implying the
Really doesn't.
Illuminati were ever cool, but okay.
They had good storylines
All
sometimes.
right, all right.
The 5, I don't know. Excalibur, I could pass on Excalibur. X-Force, I always love X-Force. Same with Marauders and Horsemen. We haven't had a Horseman of the Apocalypse like anything in a while. I guess we've had the figures, just not the keyword. And then I don't know what Otherworld and Starjammers would really bring to the story. Starjammers are, of course, Cyclops' dad and his ragtag like space pirates. I don't know what Otherworld is.
I always forget
It's not this world.
that's he's not Nathaniel Summers, but he's got like 5 names or whatever for Cyclops' dad.
Yeah.
I always forget he's like a space pirate who's like
Yep.
less
Corsair.
There it is.
Corsair
Okay.
Summers.
X-Men set. I can
Yeah.
tell you this, it's an X-Men set. I won't buy any of it. Simeon, you're likely to pick up
It'll be
Brick.
great with
Case.
those IDs that we have.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
gonna get great with
wait.
those IDs are gonna be legal for another year. Those X-Men. Oh no. Oh yeah. That's right. We're gonna early rotate those IDs.
Which is probably good. Guessing from like the
To be fair,
storyline, there's gonna be some powerhouses.
I mean, I hate ID cards. I don't really hate them, but like I am enjoying the modern competitive games post rotation that we are playing so much more without IDs. It's a more fun game, to be honest with you. It actually really is. With just equipment and like
I
only
feel
the
like
boxing ring and whatever, it's a way more.
I feel like a
fun
lot
game.
of us already knew that.
Oh yeah.
A lot of us that didn't play like competitive all the time were already like, hey, this game's so much better without the headache of IDs.
Yeah.
Just
I
different
don't have to worry
tactics.
about your sidestep and then you call some like I don't have to worry about your reach being such artificially inflated. That's not what we're talking about. Sorry, goodness gracious, that's an off track. But yeah.
Also, you don't like have characters that are just there to call stuff in. Like you
Also
have to have a
that.
purpose on the
Like,
map
this
besides
character is quite literally
not dying.
useless. They have a 0 attack, but they cost enough that I can call in someone who can go nuts to butts here in about 2 seconds. Charge flurry me for 6. So. All right, last piece of news. The most, how do we say this? Ooh, controversial. For those at home. Wizkids, they're not dead. They posted something on their official website. What did they say? Normally, I cannot stress. I do not care what Wizkids has. All right, I take that back. I have to hear what they have to say. I can't be too mean because when I eventually go back to like conventions and buy stuff from there, they can't like spit in my face when I pay for a battle royale. So I have to be kind of nice. Not that the ones that listen to this care for me, anyways. WizKids expands e-commerce offerings. What does that mean? Did I also have to Google what an e-commerce was? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Dear WizKids retailers, they're not speaking to me and you, Simeon. They're speaking to them retailers, which is going to get a bit dicey here in the next couple paragraphs. In these extraordinary times, Don't know if that's what I'd use. We at WizKids have been doing our best to continue to bring the joy of tabletop gaming, hobby painting to the masses. Today's conditions have forced us all to quickly adapt to not only a new day-to-day life, but the way we think of our collective futures. Our collective futures. As we all continue to adjust and adapt to our new, hopefully temporary, normal, we want to share with you a new initiative we hope to implement in the coming weeks. I'm trying to read this as professionally as possible, and it's not working. With distributors and retailers being forced to close due to government restrictions and or forces outside their control, getting product into the hands of our players has become more challenging than ever. While we have always supported our retailers with innovative programs such as pre-release events, Storyline OP, and in-store paint and take, now take and paint, we understand that these options may not be accessible to everyone as we continue to practice social distancing and isolation. With all this in mind, in order to find ways to continue to deliver great games to our players, we have decided to expand the WizKids online store. WOS, or WOS for short. Don't call it that, please. This had been a very difficult decision for us, but we know we must make in order to adapt to the ever-changing landscape. It is our hope that by selling products directly to you, the consumer, we can bring the joy of gaming to a greater number of households during this unprecedented situation. While continuing to ensure our business stays strong, we will continue and be able to make great products that we have all come to know and love. We'll continue to remind our players that even though we are choosing to sell products direct, always support your friendly local game store. You all are the backbone of the industry, and without you, many of our products would not be able to get to their tabletop. Please reach out. Our team is continuing to work closely with retailers to devise and adopt new programs providing ongoing support. We hope everyone stays safe and look forward to the future. Thank you, the WizKids team. All right, there's a lot to unpack there. Number one, a lot of people are complaining about how this is going to hurt retailers, right?
Yeah. First and foremost, this does not tell us nearly enough to make any actual judgment on the situation.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't tell us what they're going to be putting on the store, how much they're going to be charging, if they're planning on taking the store down immediately after like everything is back to normal. It doesn't tell us any of that. So anyone making like a snap judgment, like you just got to be patient because.
Got to be patient. Patience is a virtue. I think everybody would kind of agree with that. Yeah, like you said, just to go into what you said there, they don't tell us what they're going to be selling. They could be selling straight up JLU Black Widow bricks. So that way, all those ridiculous prices that for some reason people are paying on Facebook and stuff will go away. That'd be cool. But also people would be like, well, I want to buy all that stuff from my retailer, which is also cool. There's no gun to your head telling you to buy it from WizKids. I'm super patient. There's no reason for me to buy anything from Wizkids or any Heroclix at all until real life games are being played. Because right now I don't have to own any figures to play online at all. But maybe you got to think about this from Wizkids' point of view. They sell so much Heroclix at Origins, right? Let's say, what was it? Black Panther and the Illuminati was the last year's team sealed. We had over 260 people. Was that right? It was a crazy. It was over 200 people were in Team Sealed. It was the biggest Team Sealed ever, right? And for $90 for 3 people, they made an insane amount of money in just Team Sealed alone, right? Plus battle royales all weekend, selling convention exclusives all weekend, and then not to mention then there's the free tournament which you only have to be qualified to enter, which is the Nationals, whatever. But there's also buy-ins and stuff for qualifiers. So you got to think they make an insane amount of money going to conventions. A ton of businesses do. Magic the Gathering, people that just sell t-shirts at nerd conventions make a majority of their retail going to conventions. Despite how much a booth and all that stuff costs, they make literally so much money from selling conventions. And now you're going to say we're
even
really going to...
like local shops, like your local comic shop sometimes will take some of their stuff to conventions because there's way more foot traffic in a convention than like a given week at their shop.
For some reason, I don't know what it is about a convention, but they can have the same prices in their shop that seem outrageous, but at a convention, like I'll buy it. I'm like, why? Why am I doing this?
Oh yeah,
it makes no sense. I literally flew all the way down to Arizona for a convention, Ace Comic Con, a year or two ago. I bought something from a stand there because it was like a $10 action figure. It was pretty neat. And then I didn't even realize this when I bought it, but the sticker said Krypton Comics. I flew all the way down to Arizona and I bought something from Krypton, which is Simeon's home venue in Nebraska. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Number one, y'all really went all the way to Arizona to like, and that just shows
Of
you
course.
that no, like, hey, we got a business, we can move, and we make money at conventions. I don't think I've ever bought an action figure at Krypton, but once I went to a convention, I ended up buying an action figure from them, and I think that's hilarious. So people make a ton of money off conventions. So what is that whole rant and rave? What was that for? They might just be selling their convention exclusive figures online. They might not like these are just things you can't get at your venue, so it's not going to actually take now I don't know this. This is all here or whatever. Speaking in hypotheticals here, but if they just sell convention exclusive figures, that's not going to take away from money your venue would make, um, right? Because your venue can't sell those figures anyways, but instead it supports WizKids, who is losing a ton of money by not going to a convention this year. Makes sense?
And
Makes
that
sense.
this tracks because like a month ago or more, I said, WizKids, you should update your con exclusive vault, your con vault store. You should update it. And so they got around to listening to the episode, and now that's what they're doing.
Right.
So
We can't expect them
I
to listen to
believe
the
that,
episode
that's what
right
happened.
away. They totally, oh, absolutely. They take everything we say to heart. They're like, man, they spitting. I totally agree with this Simeon Bruce guy. He's right. We should do
Oh,
that.
always.
Yeah, they all.
Uh, even so, like my big thing is WizKids very much is aware that like they are not a distributor. They're not a big enough company to ship out like enough product to cover all their stuff. There's a reason why they go through like warehouses and like actual distributors. So with Diamond slash Alliance closed down right now, and therefore like nobody getting new Clix products, WizKids isn't looking to take on that burden. I think anyone that's panicking and like saying like they're gonna shut down retailers. First of all, like they haven't even announced if this is Heroclix. Like so if that's what you're like bugging about. Also, WizKids might be struggling enough where they need like the money coming in and they just don't have it. So like if you want Heroclix to continue, probably like let them do
Yeah.
what they need to like because without WizKids there's just no new clicks period. And then like that hurts retailers that subsist on HeroClix, which I've never once seen. But yeah, I think that WizKids is a small enough company that they're not looking to take on the burden of shipping out massive orders all the time to all of its like customers. So this will be a very temporary thing, and probably, in my opinion, it'll be like a smaller order thing. Maybe they'll do some fast forces. Maybe they'll do older products. Who knows? Maybe it'll just be convention stuff. I think that would be pretty cool if they sold what they were going to sell at Origins. Uh, but I really doubt that they're going to try and step on retailer toes because at the end of the day, like that's who actually moves their product in like bulk, and there's no way that WizKids could keep up with if every retailer shut down. There's no way WizKids would be able to move nearly as many clicks as they do.
Right. No, absolutely. They're doing their best as a business. They got to make the best of a bad situation. The world's in a bad situation. It sucks. There's no sugarcoating it. So, like, I want
Yeah,
WizKids to continue. I want HeroClix to continue. I love playing HeroClix, you know? I love some, not all, some of their board games. They're kind of neat ideas. So I want WizKids to keep going. I can't, like you said, I can't support my venue if they don't have product that I want to buy from them, you know?
yeah.
So,
Also, like let's just go out on a limb and say like once venues start opening back up and like Diamond slash Alliance like are working again and like sending stuff out again, if WizKids does like what I assume they will do is like cut back whatever it is they're going to be like offering, then those retailers wouldn't have had access to that stuff to begin with. Like
mhm.
unless you just want them to like all retailers to have to wait and like you expect like a surge of people buying from like the retailers once everything's like over, and you think WizKids will cut in on that, I guess you could make an argument for that. But more than likely, like several hundred people will buy from like WizKids Direct, and I feel like the rest of like the community will just wait because, like Calder said earlier, even if I get like a brick of the Justice League set, I can't play anything in it yet. Like physically, I just have the pieces now, and there's like no reason for me to have the pieces right now, so I'm not like super worried about purchasing stuff like that ahead of time.
For sure. And I know there's a ton of tabletop players, people that just play kitchen table stuff, right? That's what we call them, I think. Who don't go to venues, don't even play at venues anyways. And they're probably still having friends come. I don't know what your life is like, but you're probably still having one or two friends come over to play Heroclix. So, even if you just do it like that and you just want to play some new stuff, sure. I honestly like this time to play some old stuff. Personally, that's what I've been enjoying. I've been loving all the stuff we've been doing because like eventually this new stuff we're gonna get tired of playing it anyways. Like I know we always want to play this new hotness, but I hate getting burnt out, and so I really like kind of don't care. I know like Justice League is a cool set, and it's actually made me want to buy it now that I've played some of it online because I wasn't gonna buy any of it before. And I totally understand why people are chomping at the bit trying to get these, but once again, there's nothing happening. There's nothing happening. So like, just chill out, calm down for right now. Wizkids, we can't really make a big decision. We can't be like, how dare you murder LGS, anything, or how dare you, like we can't say anything about them yet. I'm looking
And
forward
I'm
to
more
see
than
where this is
willing to
going.
like call WizKids out when I
Oh,
think that they're
totally.
making a
Do
bad decision.
do
Like
you think
we do it every week.
Yeah,
So
like
I'm definitely not like shilling for them or whatever. I just think that
put the pitchforks
we have
away until we
literally
know.
zero
Just calm
information.
down. The fire pitchforks. Like let's just chill out, see what happens, and then like don't be making these snap decisions, these half-informed decisions. At least when I yell at them, it's because I'm genuinely mad about something they did. You know. So yeah, I know you've done the paint in their store thing. Have you done the take and paint thing at all, or is anyone
No,
around you
I
doing
haven't
that?
because I don't have a space set up in my house right now. The space that I have allotted to it has clicks that I'm trying to get rid of on it. And
Sure.
so until those clicks are gone, I'm not bringing more clutter in. But I haven't done the take and paint.
Okay.
Also, I don't have my own paints yet, so that's another thing that another hurdle I would have to get over.
Mini paints are needlessly expensive. I don't know why they need to be
Yeah,
more than $3. Like, I
I
hate it
think
so
I'm just
much.
gonna, I think I'm just gonna do like spray paints.
See,
Just
well,
gonna
spray paint's like
do some.
$4 a can if you want to spray it in a little cup and then do it. Obviously, you're gonna get way more mileage out of a ginormous spray paint can than those little itty bitty testors or whatever is the mini paint they use nowadays. War paint stuff. It's so expensive. It's so
Yeah,
expensive. It's insane. So yeah, that's that. That's enough of that news. Let's go ahead. Are we good? Have we ranted and raved enough about this? We're doing good, right?
I believe so.
All right, cool. We covered it. I feel comfortable. Simeon feels comfortable. Let's go ahead and move on to community, shall we? Shall we?
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
Don't know why I said it. Shall we? Like that. Anyways, Community Tuesday's question: which of your favorite HeroClix has a great dial? The sculpt is just terrible. Simeon, really crazy good dial. Sculpt's really bad. You gotta pick. You gotta
Great
pick. You gotta
dial,
pick. You gotta pick.
terrible sculpt. Man, this would be like most Mr. Sinisters.
Mm.
Pretty like it's always like a super rare chase, something like that. LE, whatever. Um, really cool dials usually, or like really cool powers in the dials. I really like the newest one that's the title character, Mr. Sinister, Rogue Geneticist. Uh, Most boring sculpt. Like it's
Mm.
always like him with like a
Yeah.
cape, or is like his weird metallic like ruffle feather things. I don't know what it is, but it's always that, and he's just standing there. Sometimes he's holding a thing, sometimes he's not. Um, so yeah, that's one that I would really like a dynamic looking one, like the one that's got the test subject and like the big
Mm.
chamber
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Sinister sculpt. I don't know how you could make that one and then go back to him just standing
Standing
there.
there,
Like,
just chilling, dude.
yeah,
Just
if they
waiting.
reused that sculpt every Sinister, I would just be like, cool.
I think
Now
no
I
one
have
has a
7.
problem if they reuse good sculpts, right? Like when they
Not usually.
reused like the Falcon sculpt from Nick Fury Agents of Shield from a super rare, made him a rare. Like everyone's cool with that. You made it easier to get, and it's still a solid sculpt. You know, at one point in time, it was at least a super rare level sculpt. I wouldn't consider it a super rare level sculpt anymore. Rare level sculpt, absolutely. It's cool when they reuse sculpts. And that Mr. Sinister with the test tube could totally be a super rare sculpt forever. Like it's a great sculpt.
Oh, yeah.
So they should totally reuse it. For me, the Captain America, Winter Soldier, Captain America, when I got out of that movie, I was so bummed that I knew I had all those Heroclix waiting for me at home, where Captain America was taking a slight step forward with the shield on his back, looking all stupid. Like, he slung that shield way cooler in Winter Soldier than he did in, like, any other, well, maybe except Endgame, but, like, at the time, any other Captain America or Avengers movie. Like, the shield dynamics they used in that movie was so awesome in Winter Soldier. And that comic cap I really enjoyed playing. I had a cool, way his shield bounced off, and that sculpt is so lame. It's on his back. Like, of all things, that cap shield is on his back. Are you kidding me? I hate it when cap shield is on his back. I think that's like one of 2 or 3 sculpts that even have cap shield like on his back, and he's not actively holding it in his hand. But it really got me, especially for Winter Soldier, because of the way he slung that shield all over the place and looked so cool doing it. That it was on his back. That bothered me a lot. Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for my second pick. Baron Strucker. This Baron Strucker, like, if he would have had the Captain America set sculpt, it would have made more sense, because he was intimidating. Like, he deserved that big Hydra coin behind him, fire, standing on a podium. But instead, this is like he's just lunging forward. And this is super. He's just lunging forward with a little, the Satan Claw slash little effect.
Yeah.
Which could look like... Oof. But he actually felt as intimidating as that 150-point Captain America one, who is like not worth 150 points anymore. But this 120 Baron Strucker, especially with the Hydra's reach thing, where they would like deal penetrating damage and stuff like that, was intimidating. This Baron Strucker had the best one. I think it had the best version of him, of that Hydra trait, and it was so good. But like the sculpt was just like, I'm gonna slash at you. So yeah, go ahead and read. Let's do 3 each once again. Go ahead and read one. Facebook.
All right. On Facebook, David Herber says, all Rhino sculpts have been too small, especially the OP kit one that came out in 2016. I like the dial with the momentum tokens, but the tiny sculpt bugged me. He wants him to beef up the Rhino, give him some thighs for days, and make him look like a truck.
A truck. So like we need a Rhino that's that Amazing Spider-Man, like I'm the Rhino, like his 2 seconds in that movie.
The armor one.
Yeah.
Like the big mech suit dude.
I liked the Amazing Spider-Man movies. If that Green Goblin didn't look terrible, that would have been a good movie.
Oh yeah.
Like
I thought the Amazing Spider-Man was, I'm not gonna like say something controversial, but I'll say that it is second best with Tom Holland's being first. I just don't care for like 40-year-old looking Peter Parker.
All right.
I'm sorry. Tobey Maguire looks like a 40-year-old.
You're ruining my nostalgia, Simeon. I cannot let this continue. We have to move on. Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are the best movies. End of discussion, period. Thank you. Don't
More
ruin
like
my nostalgia.
Sam Crimey.
Don't you dare make fun of Sam
Raimi.
I will drive to Nebraska with this $1.50 gas, and I will push you off a billboard, man. All right. What a half-baked threat. Little Plastic Superhero says, my boy Element Man, a.k.a. Metamorpho, from World's Finest set. I love this limited version of Pick a Power, which represents him perfectly, and his values were decent for 2016. His powers could have made really cool sculpt, but he got the cursed with Wizkids crossing the arms pose. I don't care about Element Man / Metamorpho as like a comic character, but I really, really, really liked this World's Finest version of him, which is like one of my first competitive teams. Like I really love this Element Man, and I have to 100% agree that his sculpt is very lackluster for like what he can do.
Could have looked like a Super Skrull.
Oh, totally.
Like rock, flame, gas. Who knows?
All right. Next one on Facebook.
All right. Alex Morse says, most of the Hellfire Club probably fits into this. Although it's hard to actually say anything for me, I need a lot of pushing to even look at most dials on the figures that look actively bad. So yeah, the newest Hellfire especially, why you give chases like zero effects, uh, very static poses. It's already kind of like a boring color palette because it's based on a '90s cartoon.
Yeah.
Um, so like Jean Grey's probably the best looking one. Emma Frost doesn't look terrible, but like man, what is it? Sebastian Shaw has like a little effect
Yeah.
behind him.
Yeah.
So many of
For
them,
what
like
Jason Wingard can do, his sculpt does
yeah,
not show that.
Jason Wingard should look like Rick Jones from Avengers Assemble. He should have
Mm.
like an explosion
Yeah,
behind
totally.
him with like,
Totally.
the
People coming out
bystanders
of
he
it.
can
Yeah, with the
pump out.
bystanders coming out of it. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
very boring. I agree.
They wasted their sculpt budget. I feel like in sets like that, they wasted their cool sculpt budget on all of the colossals. Because you got to remember, AI also had really lame sculpts. Because like they were very standard
Oh
poses,
yeah, yeah.
and then they were just like split half cosmic-y, right, with the paint job.
I
So
wish they would. I wish they would do more like custom bases though, because Hellfire Club would be a
that'd have
perfect
been
theme
cool
for doing like a custom base.
if they had
And
like
they
some
did it
kind
in
of
AI
weird.
with like the black speckly cosmic looking thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which
Uh,
was like the last time we
yeah,
got a cool custom base for chases, anyways.
right.
Like, I want custom bases back. They felt like a chase was on the board, you know? They felt cool
Yeah,
when like the Hulk chases, whatever, they were green, right? Batman chases were this light blue. The Avengers Assemble chases were this cool semi see-through red, translucent. It was sick. Colored bases are really cool. Let's get more colored bases. The Hellfire Club could have had this really cool like royal red or like gold even or something. Neat. They could have done something way cooler.
chessboard, something like I don't know.
I don't know about like that kind of. I mean, they had Spider-Man webbing, so yeah, sure. Why not? Why not do a chessboard thing? Like sure. Or even Chase with the podiums when they did the Bizarro figures and the Red Sun figures with a little Superman podium. Like
Oh yeah,
give them a little podium, which is cool. Even the Bizarro figures are terrible. Like whatever. Give them a little podium, at least something special. Make them feel like chases, man. I want chases
they
to
could
feel
have even
cool.
just a real easy effect to do would have been to put like the corresponding chess piece next to them. Like, oh,
Oh
this is the
yeah,
black
that'd have
bishop,
been
this is
neat.
the white king,
That'd have
like
been totally cool.
how hard would that have been?
Let's do that. Let's get back. Like obviously you can print dials with different colors. Like we just had our Genesis, like come on. Like let's have me some colorful Heroclix. I like that. I like that so much. Moving on, let's go ahead. CP Justice says all time easy. Scroll Miss Marvel from Secret Invasion. That dial was insane during its day, but that sculpt, it's like they sculpted it with the wrong side of a butter knife. Oh, don't pull your punches here, man.
Jeez. All right, this one's for you, Calder. Jeff
Oh,
Polier says, I don't know about him being a favorite, but the Lone Ranger had an excellent dial underneath that ridiculous sculpt.
I feel that way about almost every Tab app style sculpt they had. Like that Thor wasn't bad with his like ghetto hypersonic, right?
Oh yeah, that
I really
Cyclops
liked
does like 4 pen
Cyclops is
damage
good.
on one
That
point in his dial.
Wolverine had like two, three stop clicks, like kinda, like he was
Yeah,
good,
before that was like real common. Yeah.
Yeah, like they were good sculpts. Like they were bad sculpts, excuse me. They had good dials though, like all the Tab app like stuff. And I do like the Lone Ranger set, especially that Lone Ranger. He's got that like that late dial close combat expert boxed at law school, man. You don't see that coming. It's pretty cool. And then last one on Twitter, we had Jedi Legend. Protagonist Jedi Legend says this one springs to mind is that garish mudslop sculpt of JW030 Two Face. I love the Arkham Asylum sculpt, so this got swapped. Much happier now. So right on.
Hmm. Fair enough. Yeah.
Jody Do 3 on Facebook. Sorry for spacing out. I'm looking for Jedi Legends Heroclix Tip of the Week. He might not have uploaded it yet because it is Saturday. We should not.
Ooh.
He normally puts it out
I'll
like
have to
Sunday, right
retroactively
before.
add 2.
Yeah, I do feel retroactively bad. So let's just go ahead and read his latest tweet here. Make up for it. So we'll just do whatever he sends us next week. Game 12 of hashtag HeroClix. Both kids wanted to play, and I don't need to be asked twice. A loose 200 points, rules stripped right back. Basically, move or attack. They love the figures, the dice, counting, and my comic book narrative. I think that's the best way to play here. Oh, and he's got our die. You can't see the logo, but he totally is using our black dice there. So I dig it. Have that logo up, man. I mean, that
I
5
mean,
and a 6 is a
in
really solid
itself,
roll.
That is a Heroclix tip because that's a great way to teach new people how to
That
learn.
absolutely is. That is totally
Low
true.
points, move and attack only. Let them get used to the whole fundamentals of the game with like the stats, and then clicking the dial and stuff,
I
and
also
then
think
introduce powers.
the comic book narrative really helps it. So when I was trying to teach people, like at a convention, I was just sitting in their board game area trying to teach it. I had a Spider-Man team and a Sinister Syndicate team. Like I wanted to make sure we had teams that made sense. They were fighting each other. And then I'm like, Spider-Man just went up, smashed Lizard's head with a rock, dude. You know, like I just, you gotta add fun to it. You gotta make it fun. You gotta make people visualize and see that I'm just not moving this little game piece and rolling dice, which a lot of the times that's just what it feels like. But like the map is cool and colorful, the pieces are cool and colorful. Blah, blah, blah. It's
And for
awesome.
Perplex, I always say like this person gave that person a pat on the back, made them feel real
I don't know
confident
about
about
that.
themselves.
It's weird, right? Because like perplex, the word is like I'm just confused, but perplex like buffs people. You know, I can see when you negative perplex someone, that might be confusing someone, making them act weird. But like perplex in a positive sense doesn't make sense, right? Like how are you
Yeah,
perplexing me up? You know? Anyways,
I
who the
guess
heck?
I'll go do it. You've perplexed
Yeah,
me into
yeah.
attacking.
Let's go ahead and talk about Jedi. Uh, Malcolm Rush's Heroclix question block. Almost said tip of the week. Goodness gracious.
That's in Japan.
Japan? No, 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 no. I can't go to
No,
Japan.
no, 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 no. We can't go to Japan. All right, Throwback Thursday questions. These are like questions for us, man. So Malcolm is digging Thursday Throwdown. Always the Throwback Thursday Throwdown. We're doing this, if you guys don't know, we talked about it every single time on the podcast. Check out our YouTube channel if you want to see HeroClix gameplay. It's on Roll20. I know. Soon we're going to move it once we get to the sets that are legal on Tabletop Simulator. We're going to move it there, and it's going to be really like a way cooler looking experience. But right now, me and Simeon are having a ton of fun playing through all these old HeroClix sets. Next week, Simeon, you're building out of Critical Mass. I'm building out of Unleashed. Great figures in both those sets. I feel like Critical Mass was a good Marvel set when it came out. I think it had a lot of like unique stuff in it for the time. Obviously, there's only like 5 sets that exist, so yeah, of course it did. But like,
All I
I'm
know about it
excited.
is that's what I come close to reaching around Thanksgiving, Calder.
Jeez.
Ha ha.
And
I'm
then by the end
sorry.
of the meal,
That
you're
was
fully unleashed. Is that what it is?
yeah,
We
that
can do
was
puns. We can do
I
terrible
had to do
wordplay.
it. I regretted it
Yeah,
the whole time, but I
you
still
had to
had to
do
do it.
it. Mm, mm. What a what a guy. So yeah, like vote for those on Facebook and Twitter. I'm having a ton of fun filming these. It's a lot of fun being a YouTuber. It's a lot of fun being a podcaster. I love recording a podcast, but I totally see why people make YouTube channels and why there are so many for HeroClix. It's so fun. It seriously is. So Thursday Throwdown questions. Thank you, Malcolm. Number one, he always votes, which is great. He makes throw out a bunch of votes. By the way, when you like your own comment, we're not going to count that as like an actual vote. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, we
You
can
can't.
check.
Yeah. We know what that little like means. It's not necessarily a unique one. But if you don't want to totally type out a comment, Malcolm throws out a bunch of figures, which I normally just use for tiebreakers after his first two. So, and to build out of if we don't get that many comments. But seriously, we get like 30 or 40 views. Not a lot of views on the Facebook channel, on the YouTube channel. But subscribe. Check out the Thursday Throwdown videos. They're super fun. You get to see old figures working in action. You get to see people complain about how long the video is. Jonah Fleming. So it's really cool.
And who knows,
And
you might
vote.
actually like see something you didn't see before and you want to
Yeah.
pick it up.
Yeah.
Like we don't do like a deep dive into the dials, but we go over like kind of like what they're gonna do for the team, and we look at the sculpt and we make fun of it.
Absolutely. Well, got to make fun of the sculpt. So he gives us 3 really sweet questions, which is number one, which figures have been surprisingly good or bad in the games you play? Simeon, what figures have been good
All
or bad?
right.
Play against or play with?
Surprisingly good has to go to Rasputin. So far, the only MVP I've had in these past 3 videos.
Yeah.
Just did not think that 9 attack. Turns out, like, just like in normal, like, current sets, support powers go a long way in older sets. Especially, like, since I don't know. It just seems like if there's some in the set, it's, like, really cheap or it's non-existent. Like, it's either on a 150 point figure or it's on like an 11 point figure, for perplex or prop or whatever. It's crazy. So yeah, Rasputin has to be my surprisingly good. Did not think that he was gonna take
Okay.
me the distance. And then bad, I'm gonna have to give to probably like my first two teams. Just everyone
The
on them.
whole team.
They were all bad. No, Nightcrawler was really good. His high defense and his high speed.
He was last man standing. Yeah.
Yeah, he took me quite a ways. I think surprisingly bad has to go to Wolverine. I just expected a little bit more from him, and he just didn't really deliver.
That's rough. I said kind of the same thing as you did. I said surprisingly good was Rasputin. He acted the way I wanted my Despero to act in that game, but the stealth crippled Despero, and instead Rasputin with his little 9 attack. You did some good stuff though, perplexing it up and everything and then the 2080 team ability. Like it was good strats on your part. Like he well paid his points. I was like, man, 111 points for this? What in the world? But like, no, he absolutely killed it.
I do think a highlight point of that game was when you thought my stealth was gone because I dropped
totally
the
did.
Kabuki team ability and got the 2000 AD, and I was like, nope, Super just has it on his dial as well. So like that was a highlight for me.
Smart play, dude. That was such what a tricky thing to do when you copied Kabuki. And I'm like, okay, he's just got stealth because of Kabuki. Now we're gonna just destroy this man. But no, not so fast, not in my house. But no, that's what I said. I said surprisingly good Rasputin, surprisingly bad Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler was still good, but like he didn't act the way I thought he was gonna act for friendship ruining Nightcrawler.
Rough,
yeah.
Had I built a team around him rather than just like out of the set, he might have been way better. But
surprisingly bad
going off of what I did
was like Despero. When you see a 12 attack Pen Blast, I think it was the matchup. I'll totally say that. Like the stealth ruined Despero, sadly, but he is a good figure. But surprisingly performed poorly was Despero. Surprisingly performed really well was that Mandarin. I didn't really see him doing that well, and he totally performed absolutely.
That crazy, what was it, 10 range?
Great. Yeah, 10 range. I mean, 10 range, whatever prob, no, outwit. Like, it was just really solid. Like, even though he didn't have crazy stat bumps, it helped.
No movement attack,
3, whatever, con artists on the team, but, like, he did really well as a main attacker, so that was really solid. Number 2 is which upcoming throwback games you cannot wait to play? Which sets are you looking forward to play? Simeon. Which ones you just can't wait to build out of?
Ones that I really can't wait is when Wolverine and the X-Men come up. I mean that one will be quite a ways down the line. So like giant size X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men, those will both be really fun to either play or play against. And then I think maybe like when War of Light or like some of those summer event kind of things come up, we might just split it between like Wave 1 and Wave 2.
And half, yeah.
Yeah, so that way, like, I mean, whoever's playing War of Light doesn't get like all the entities and batteries to themselves.
Yeah.
It'll be some crazy cool, like all the terrible things that take like
way too long to play the game.
An hour to learn, yeah.
But if people keep voting for entities, they forget to throw out a vote for a normal figure. We got to play an entity at full points, which is just not how you play an entity. Like who plays an entity?
I'll play like Ophidian possessed by Predator.
Can you possess an entity? Do they have? I mean, I guess maybe. Shoot, I don't know. I've never once in my entire life played with an entity, so I do not know.
No, I never once put Red Sun Brainiac on full points. Or Eclipso.
I guess I've used Jocasta. I will take that back. She is a possessor in a way. I have used Jocasta, but she's cool.
I played her in sealed at full points, but
okay, she's probably a solid. She's like only 130, 125, whatever. She's probably a solid seal pick. I can't wait for Web of Spider-Man. I think we should do 400 points for Web of Spider-Man if we can play Cosmic Spidey and Spider-Hulk, some other cool figures. I like Web of Spider-Man as a set. I've played so little of it. But when I bought all those Heroclix a long time ago and had to go through it, I'm like, the sculpts are not bad in this set. They're not terrible. And, the dials are a little lackluster, but I liked Web of Spider-Man a lot. Supernova, Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, any set with zombies. Hopefully I get those. If it somehow ends up me never getting a set with zombies, I'll podcast over, sorry. But I hope, because like those are the standout things in each of those sets. So hopefully we get a lot of votes for just zombies in general, whatever. So I can play a full Supernova zombie team. That'd be really cool. If not, I can play that in real life. Anyways, also I guess mutations of monsters, also with zombies. So any of those sets with zombies, I can't wait. Hopefully we can get to play some of those. And then just to throw out a DC pick, I kind of just said Arkham Asylum. I really do like. If it felt like Arkham Asylum was what was starting to give DC a bigger boost in their sets. Sadly, the Mighty Thor came out right after it, which is a little bit of a damper on Arkham Asylum. But when I was going through some of the figures, I really liked the abilities that Arkham Asylum had for sure. Watchmen, I don't know if we're gonna do it since there's 27 figures in the set, but
Yeah.
maybe I would like to play Watchmen, but maybe it's gonna have to be a set that is played against like Kick Arse or something. We might have to do like a special thing like that.
Yeah, like a smaller gravity feed, like Face Off.
Yeah, and same thing with all the figures or all the sets that weren't modern legal, that were like weird gravity feeds. I think we're probably gonna try to do them in release order. So like even though they don't start until they go into their own little category, and the first one is Gears of War 2011, right? Whatever. We probably won't do that. It's got 10 figures in the set. But like Street Fighter, Halo, whatever, ones that relatively have the same amount of figures in the set.
Halo will be
Not
cool.
Yeah, like Halo
The
versus Street
grenade
Fighter would be
pool.
great. Street Fighter will totally lose because of range, but like
Yeah.
that's cool. Lord of the Rings versus like this old school Star Trek. Is this just ships? Yeah, it's just ships. But still, like I'm looking forward to playing those, and we have to keep that in mind. Once we get to like the 2011-ish era, we need to see what those sets will go. I think we should obviously not play them against Marvel or DC, even though Street Fighter was modern legal, I believe, at the time.
Yeah, it's
But
just
yeah, I'm
kind of
looking
bad.
forward to
Had
Street
like
Fighter
a
for
weird
sure.
charge thing.
And number 3, which Heroclix figures you hope people vote for you to play, and why? So we kind of already discussed this a little bit, but go into it a little more.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have a ton of experience with these older sets, so I just hope that people vote for things that they really want to watch, or things that they like will find entertaining for one reason or another. If there's a figure that you just want to vote for because like it's hilariously bad, that's fine. Like I'll throw it on the team and then I'll figure out that it's bad like halfway through playing. If there's just like a nostalgia figure that you really want like me to experience, uh, I'll do that too. Like, so personally, a figure that I'd really like to get voted would have to be like something from Hammer of Thor, like Ultron, or the Throg, God of Thunder, Frog, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That one's actually Thor turned into a frog, not the frog with the sliver of Mjolnir, which is Throg. But yeah, like something like that. I don't have like a bunch of preferences actually.
Okay, right on. I want people to obviously if there's Captain America in the set, I want to play it because I don't get a chance to normally justifiably play a bunch of old Captain Americas. I own all of them, but I don't necessarily play all of them. It's like that totally. Stuff like that. I love old Green Lantern figures. Love, love, love any version of Green Lantern in the old school. He seems so cool. He's got like whatever ESD, Range Combat Expert, TK. They're all very similar, but I enjoy Green Lantern. So like vote for stuff like that. You'll still vote for like whatever figure you guys think is good, obviously, and that's what I expect you to do. But like, yeah, hey, if there's a Howard the Duck in the set, there's only 3 Howard the Ducks, and if I get that set, or even if Simeon gets it, give him those Howard the Ducks, man. Let's throw some fun figures in there. Like, let's do some wacky fun stuff. If there's like Bizarro, whatever, let's throw some Bizarros in there. Let's get some fun stuff in the mix. But I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna tell you how to vote, but to go along with the question, I want to play fun things too. We don't like when it gets to War Light and you're just like play Weapon or Cord, this whatever. I'm like that's gonna be a tough game. Whoever is playing against Weapon or Cord for sure. So like instead you could play like, hey, play whatever Bedovian, like some solid figures.
Carousel.
Carousel, like some like more fun figures and that aren't just like I can full move pulse wave you. Whatever with a TK figure, so I can do it almost map wide. So yeah. Let's do some fun stuff like that. Malcolm then goes on to say, he does a quick suggestion here. You should use the original rules and team abilities when each set came out. Why or why not? Mostly because it might be confusing for a lot of people. And also it'd be confusing for me and Simeon. I'm sorry, we're not just amazing geniuses. We absolutely aren't. So it would just be weird, right? We have to find an old rule book, find the old rulings, which might be a little difficult on the internet unless we like go out and buy rule books of that time, which would also be very difficult because they did change it up a bunch. Not necessarily early on, but through the years, it changes just a little. Like just look at the last 3 years, we've had so many changes to powers and stuff that for a while our packs weren't modern, legal, correct packs for a little bit, right? For like 6 or 7 months, even.
Yeah.
For like
I don't
how
want to have to
certain
worry
powers worked.
about like super heavies,
Yeah.
and I honestly I just don't want to unlearn the new rules for like
Oh
a
yeah,
couple of
right.
videos.
I know we
Also,
joked
it
about
won't
it,
help
like
anyone that's
soaring and
new.
stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah.
it won't help anyone that's new and like watching the channel either. So like if there's a newer player that wants to like see some gameplay, like yes, they're older figures and the power combos might not be as good as they are now. Stats aren't as good either, but I still want them to like know like impervious reduces by 2 unless it's penetrating, then you roll for it, stuff like that. I don't want them to think I can carry and then do an action after I drop the person. Like even though it would be thematic for like playing stuff like Fire Lord or full move hypersonic with a heavy would be thematic as well, full range, all that stuff. It would like it'd be cool to see like the figures at their most broken as they were, but I don't want to confuse people.
Right. No, for sure, for sure. And that, anyways, he also goes on to say, I can't leave this out. It's a direct compliment. So I enjoy the game so far and look forward to upcoming Thursday Throwdown games. Have fun. Thank you so much, Malcolm. I love these questions. Malcolm always sends us really cool questions. I love these ones that are very specifically Thursday Throwdown related, and I absolutely love that. So Simeon, before we go ahead and close out the show, is there anything you want to say, my man?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep updating my picture for the Thursday throwdowns, and you can see the progression of my tan and my quarantine beard, and the hair that will also keep growing, which is on my head.
Yeah,
So I hope people enjoy that. I'll
that is
also
pretty
change
great.
my shirt occasionally. So
So, oh, gross. See, I actually, one time when I was going to take my second photo, I realized I had already done a load of laundry with that shirt, and I was like wearing it again, and I'm like, I have to change the shirt, or people are going to think this is like either taken the same day or I've been wearing the same shirt for a week. I hate it when that ends up being a thing where like I go through, wash the shirt, whatever, but like it's Heroclix night again, and I'm wearing the same shirt, and it looks like no one really cares, like no one actually notices probably in real life, but it's a bad look. And
yeah, I go through
yeah,
laundry pretty quick. So I I have like I don't know 200 shirts. I probably cycle through the same like 20 because I
mm.
like them more than the other ones.
You got the same problem I do, just like buying t-shirts. If it's like semi cool, you're like, I gotta buy that t-shirt, it's cool, and you only wear like so many.
Yeah.
But right
Or I'm
on,
like,
yeah.
I don't like the way this fits.
So we'll
And
get
then
to
I just
see
never wear it again.
Simeon's progression, which means I get to edit a thumbnail every single time from complete scratch by
Yes.
adding in 2 new videos. I mean, he gets to edit the whole video, so like that's fine. I need like better editing technology. I do it on my phone for the thumbnail for like ease because I don't really know how to do it on my computer, which means like my crop looks really bad compared to like Simeon's crop of himself or ourselves. So far, if you like look, the thumbnails change with who won the game. If you see that, like so far, that won't always be the case. I don't know if there's any other eagle-eyed people that have noticed that. I just noticed that. Besides our first one, which is the very first time, but like the second time, my thumbnail changed. Simeon's didn't. I won that game. This time, I didn't. I was too lazy to like make a new thumbnail, and his changed, and he won that game. That's probably not gonna like continue really. I was just too lazy to make a thumbnail, and I uploaded that thing at like barely. It was barely still Thursday when I uploaded this last Thursday throwdown. We're starting to record on Wednesdays now, and we're gonna get them uploaded on Thursday. The fact that the last one was so late, like literally at like 11:30 at night, getting uploaded is my fault. I'm sorry. That's just the way it be sometimes. So yeah, vote Facebook, Twitter, and everything else. I don't think I can ramble on much more about the show. We get to see Simeon's progression into madness with his thumbnails. You get to see me as I've lied and I've already shaved because the only reason I shaved is because I was going to be in these thumbnails. I'm like, I can't look this bad if I'm going to keep putting my face on a thing. Because I'm just going to be real. I can't grow a beard like how Simeon can grow a beard.
I look real angry in the last one because
you do.
Like, I'm slightly
like
sunburnt.
I dig it.
So
yeah.
like I look like I'm like just flush red mad. But no, that's just a top layer of skin burning
up. And the light's hitting you a little differently in that one, for sure. So far, every time I've made the thumbnail, just like looking at them, I have the figures, the words, and everything all placed like differently. I'll probably eventually get into a groove with how I'm making the thumbnails, but for right now, they're just going to keep looking crazy and different. So I hope you guys enjoy that. All right, enough ranting and raving. You can email us at dialateforheroclix@gmail.com. You can find our podcast on iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, and for some reason on all sorts of random apps wherever podcasts can be found. Check us out at facebook.com/dialateforheroclix. Follow us on Twitter, which you'll see basically all the same stuff you see on Facebook, except we retweet Jedi Legend's Tip of the Week, which is on Twitter. So that's at dialh4, the number 4, Heroclix on Twitter. You can support us on Patreon if you are compelled to do so. We have links to all of these in our podcast description. We are also on Instagram, which basically just posts whatever memes we post on Facebook and Twitter. It's also just another platform where we kind of post all the same stuff. On Instagram, we also put up the full thumbnail for Thursday Throwdown. Follow us on Instagram if you want to. I don't really stay too active with it. I just got logged into it like maybe about a year ago. And I just figured I might as well post on it to keep all our platforms relatively active. I've already mentioned our YouTube, which we already upload the podcast to. We also do some unboxings, and we do Thursday Throwdown. I want to do more funny skit videos like Heroclix impressions and then our April Fool's video. Yes, that video was a joke. If you don't understand what a joke is, you can go ahead and Google it. If you don't understand what April Fools mean, you can also go ahead and Google that. That was over a month ago, and I still think it's hilarious. So, yeah, like we said, we upload the podcast, we do unboxings, we sometimes do WKO reports / throughout the day. Obviously not doing those. There are no WKOs and or tournaments happening. So check us out. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Just do it, because we get so few videos. I know we're not YouTubers, but I really do believe we're making like YouTube content with the best of them with these Thursday Throwdowns. I think they're real fun. Maybe not real professional, but real fun. And that's what the show is about. So that is all I have to say. It's all the stuff I have to plug. Simeon, I've already asked you any other last words for like 3 times, but let's just do it one more time for posterity's sake.
Oh, just those important ones. Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, from the latest Heroclix singles to sealed products, board games, not boring games. I don't know, all kinds of stuff.
Ooh,
check them out
have that
at CoolStuffInc.com.
Interrupted your thing there. They're still doing a 35% trade-in bonus. So I'm using this time to because I kind of hate trying to sell old Heroclix.
Do some spring cleaning of your old Heroclix.
I'm selling all my old Heroclix to them. Something like, obviously the more you sell, the more money you get back. It's a percentage or whatever. So like I sold them like $50 worth of stuff, but instead it came out to like 70, like $5, you know? So like that's an extra $25, whatever. The math is probably wrong there, but either ways, you get it. And I'm just like, hey, I'm trading out Heroclix for Heroclix, and the percentage kind of like also helps pay for like the shipping, which is cool because if you sell to any miniatures website, they don't pay the shipping for you to send it to them. So if you're selling bulk, you totally want to sell, like bulk is only like 5 cents on any miniature site, so you totally want to sell with that percentage. Really helps cover the shipping cost when you sell figures for like 5 cents, 25 cents, whatever. So absolutely, it's 35% right now, trade-in bonus, which is just super awesome. So yeah,
and then
check it out.
Buy just a ton of singles through them, eventually you'll get up to like 10, 12, 15% off of singles. So, trade all your stuff in, buy more stuff. And I mean, I don't know how you lose in this situation.
There is no loss. There's nothing wrong. So anyways, guys, like always, happy trails.